Hello friends, Tracy Brown here, and in this week we are talking about the basics of getting food back on the table and getting to some nourishment, and in all kinds of ways. So I've been going through all of your comments, again, from the post I made on Sunday about what's the hardest thing about getting food on the table. And two of them kind of go together, so I'm going to mention these, is that when I go to make my food, whether it's like preparing for a meal ahead of time, whether it's lunch or dinner, and then you pack the food, and then you get to the food and you recognize, I don't really want this. We're going to talk about that today. And then we're also going to talk about, I bought all this food, it's in my cabinet, it's in my fridge, and then I don't eat it. And those are similar topics, they're a little bit different, but I want to talk about what that is and what we can do to overcome that. So before I jump into those topics, please let me know if this is valuable to you. If you feel like it is, please be willing to pass this along, because I think a lot of us are feeling very, understandably, of course, mad, sad, scared. And it is going to throw us off our clarity. And that's not a bad thing forever, but it's not something that can be sustained. So I'm really here to just to be a grounding post of like, to do anything positive in this world. You do have to keep your own house in clarity and grounding, and understanding you can't really be out here spinning, okay? And that's not sustainable. So physically, mentally, emotionally. That's what these videos are about. And so what does it mean when you're trying to, like, let's say pack some lunch for work, or let's say put some stuff in the crock pot in the morning, and you come home for dinner and you don't want it? What's that about? Usually what that's about is feeling like we have limited knowledge about what works for our bodies. That's kind of the bottom line. That's not necessarily your fault if you're just starting in this process, but we really need to take more time with purposely, one, having more variety the best we can with the budgets we have. And I know that many people do have very limited budgets food-wise, or are purposely trying to do things to save money. But I do know that it's very important to like do your best with that topic, because what happens, you can only eat so much of a certain kind of thing, or make yourself eat so much of a certain kind of thing, and either just say screw it because you just can't eat it again, or you just have to dissociate from yourself and eat the same thing over and over again and disregard your appetite and your need for pleasure. That's the bottom line. Or sometimes you just get so sick of it that you just stop eating enough altogether, and then get in this pattern of malnourishment. So that's the danger there. So the solution to, like, oh, I packed this sandwich I thought I would like for lunch and now I don't like to eat it, is there enough at your meal to have something you do like? And what made you pack that sandwich in the first place? It's what you had, convenience. So let's say that's all you have. How can we basically juice up that sandwich to be more appealing? Those are the things you want to start thinking about, is having enough accompaniments with that sandwich, or other parts of the meal, what your main part of the meal is, and then bring that with you. So I always encourage people to bring way more than they ever think they could eat at a meal to their meals, especially when you're out and about and you're not in your own kitchen. So number two thing that I see people struggle with is they buy all this food and then they look at it and they don't want to eat any of it, is there's definitely, there's a clarity issue there. And that can be born from, I haven't truly let myself have full permission yet. I'm making myself, and this happened to me a lot, the whole healthism thing when I was in college a long time ago. It's like, well, I should buy all these different fruit and vegetables. I should have all these organic things on my shelf, but you don't like any of it. Or you're not in a phase in your recovery where they're just accessible to you yet in terms of mentally and emotionally, so stop buying them. Buy what you truly know that you might like. Even if you're guessing, if you're not sure if you're going to like it, you want to make the best match guess possible. Super important. So if you're buying stuff that you think you should buy because it makes the orthorexic food police part of your brain happy, you probably don't want to buy that, basically. And then you're not stuck with a shelf full of food that you're not going to eat anyway. So my encouragement to y'all is to buy stuff you truly want to eat. And if you're not sure, do your best guess, because sometimes the only way we learn how to eat is by eating and tweaking along the way. So this week again is all in an attempt to help us kind of dismantle the barriers to getting food on the table. So please make sure you saw yesterday's post, Monday's post. I'm going to be posting actually some an impromptu little recipe thing I made this weekend tomorrow. I didn't get to it yesterday. I apologize about that. So that will be tomorrow. But I'm also going to I've been putting little links of resources on my page here as well. So please make sure you go look at those. I have a little shout out to a group. It's called Play With Your Food by Karen Ricks. I highly recommend you go there and enjoy her enthusiasm for food. I just really adore her. I think she does a great job of making maybe food that seems kind of intimidating to make more accessible. And she's just nice to be around, to be perfectly honest. But also be thinking about, like, you know, if you have food in your shelf and you don't know what to do with it, let me know what it is. Post it below, and I would love to help you brainstorm some ideas. Like, what do I even do with this? I don't want to buy more food. I want to do something with what I have, but I don't know what to do with it. And I'm afraid to look at websites for recipe ideas because it's going to be diet triggery. So there are some that aren't diet triggery, which you should trust, you know. So like the documentary stuff, Fat, Salt, Heat, that's a really great one. I like Cookie and Kate. That's a great website. It's more geared toward vegan and vegetarians, but you can always add in other protein sources if you don't want to do that. So there's that, other resources as well. So thank you all so much for watching live. I really appreciate you. Pass this along to people who need to get regrounded with getting food on the table. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.